They're off in the Juvenile Fillies turf.
Welcome to the 2021 Racing Dudes preview of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. I'm your host, Curtis Kalleward, aka Magic, and joining me now to preview this race is one half of the Racing Dudes team, Aaron Halterman. Aaron, big field of 14 fillies. A lot of the Euros you probably would think are very strong, but the trend says Americans usually dominate this race. Often from Chad Brown has won this race 5 times. Brad Cox won it with Aunt Pearl. Does any American strike you as the top choice in this race, or are you leaning European?
Yeah, I actually went with an American on top. I went with number 5, Bubble Rock, to win this race. I really love the 8-1 price. I think this horse is super intriguing, right? Coming out of some sprint races, 3 straight races going short on the grass. But, if you watch the replays, especially last time out at Belmont Park, this horse looked to be kicking it into gear late in that race. Like she was just starting to hit her best stride late. So I'm excited to see this 1 mile race. The biggest thing for me, Irad Ortiz is aboard this horse. He jumped aboard from the first start all the way through with this horse. Brad Cox and Irad, they don't. Irad doesn't ride for Brad Cox all that often, only 19 times in the last year. But, when they do, they have very good success. There's a lot of really good turf horses in New York that Irad maybe could have jumped on over this one a few times and didn't. So that's really interesting to me. I really like this 8-1 price on Bubble Rock.
Well, and just to Bubble Rock's inside is her stabling in the Brad Cox barn, Turner Lewis, who looks like, on paper at least, Aaron, one of 2 very quick early horses. Does Turner Lewis, with Florent Giroux as Brad Cox's top jockey, have a chance to steal this gate to wire, do you think?
It's interesting because Bubble Rock for Brad Cox coming out of sprints also could be on that lead as well. So it'll be interesting to see who sets the pace and who kind of sits off. We look at the 3 horses to the inside of these 2. I don't think they're going to really be contesting that lead. Maybe Cairo Memories, but I think the 4 and the 5 a little bit quicker out of the gate. I thought Turner Lewis might be kind of a monster type horse going in the Jessamine. I don't really think she had an excuse that day, and she faded. So I don't love her here in this spot. I expected a little more from her in that race. And I just think her stablemate Bubble Rock might just be a little bit better. So I'm kind of against Turner Loose in the spot.
How about the Europeans? Like I said, usually this is an American one race, but the Europeans tend to send over some very strong ones, including Mother Earth, who was second in last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. She returns to race in an older Breeders' Cup race this year that we'll talk about. But Europeans, does anyone stand a chance in this spot?
Well, I think the 12 and the 13, Malabath and Miss and Scene, I think both of those horses definitely have that European form that you look for, right? They just are coming into the race well. They really seem like they're progressing well. They've won big races over there. I don't really like the post position draws for either of them. Going a mile at Del Mar on the turf, I don't really want the outside positions. So I think the post kind of hurts the 12 and the 13. But those are the 2 that I think they kind of jump out at you, especially the 12. Malabath is a horse I kind of toyed with putting on top in here. Didn't quite do it, but this horse has won 2 in a row, a Group 2 race last time out. Got to stretch out to a mile for the first time, but this horse does have a pedigree that says a mile will be okay for her.
In a field like this where the favorite is 5-1 and there's plenty of options to go long shots, is there anyone at a double-digit price that you were like, I've got to put this horse on my ticket in the exotics?
Yeah, you could really make a case for a lot of them in this race. This is one of the more wide-open races of the Breeders' Cup. I thought Cash It, the number 3 horse, another European invader who's 12-1, gets Luis Saez aboard. I thought this one was kind of interesting, right? The horse hasn't won in a while. That's the downside. But, it's had a race at the distance. It came in against Group 1 company last time out at Newmarket and was 3rd by 2 3/4. That's not so bad against Group 1 company overseas. I kind of like that Saez gets aboard. I kind of like that they got, a local jock as far as the United States, not so much Del Mar. But that horse is interesting to me at 12-1. I think that's one you need to get involved.
Thanks for joining us to preview this 2021 Breeders' Cup race. For previews of all 14 World Championship races, head over to racenews.com. Before you leave, be sure to smash the thumbs up on this video, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a show.